Hi, assalamu everyone, and good morning. So, first of all, I would like to thank all of you for being here today. And for information, we will begin our talk just 5 minutes more in 9:05 a.m. in the morning. So, let's wait for another 5 minutes for the participant to enter this platform. And not to forget, feel free also to ring up your friends, wake them up in the morning, and ask them to join us in this beautiful morning so we can gain a lot of benefit together. So, for those who are ready, feel free to kindly fill up the attendance form that will be provided in the pin checks in the comment section beside you. And also, as a reminder, I would like to remind you to fill in the attendance form carefully to avoid any mistakes, and make sure also to use only capital letters and do not misspell anything, as your information will be using for the e-certificate purposes. So just a trivia for you, this morning we'll be talking about flexibility and adaptability, especially when you are going to your internship soon, real soon. For me, I'll be going my internship, inshallah, in another 2 semesters. So I really hope that you can get a lot of benefit in this session today, as we have a wonderful speaker. You'll see, we'll meet him at the moment, just a few minutes more. So we have quite a number of people today with us in the morning. So have Shaz. Hi everyone. I just can't wait to gain new knowledge from this program. Me either. Me as a moderator, I'm also excited to know a lot of good things, I believe. And we have Fatina Biha, Anis Marisa. Oh, Anis Marisa is from UITM. Hi, Anis from UITM. I'm here from UIA, but I'm really live from Penang, as we all doing ODL right now. So I believe you would be the same with me. All the best to you, sister. And again, just as a reminder for you to kindly fill up your attendance form, as your participation today will be rewarded with e-certification, and it will benefit you in the long run, inshallah. And only use capital letters for all your informations while you are fill up the Google form. So only 1 minute left. So don't forget to ask your friend to join us in the morning, wakey wakey in the morning. We have such a great session today, inshallah. Thank you, Anis. So it's already 9:05 a.m. So we can start, isn't it? So are you ready for this morning? So everyone, Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to all of you. So I am Nurul Idaya binti Adraza, or as written, you can call me Ayu Raza. And for those who are perhaps wondering who am I, just a short trivia for you. I am currently in my third year, second semester, majoring in English for International Communication and Com, and I'll be your MC for today. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you this morning to the Flexibility and Adaptability Talk 2021. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all of you for joining our talk today. And I hope that you are doing well wherever you are. So, this talk is one of the program under Wanted Soft Skills that is organized by the Public Relation Division of KLMSS Session 2020-2021. So, this talk, so before we begin, I would like to invite Brother Syed to lead video our recitation. Please welcome.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, on this glorious day, in conjunction with the Wanted Soft Skill, Flexibility and Adaptability Program, we uphold our hands to pray gratefully to thank on your infinite favor to us till we can live in peace and harmony to perform our tasks as your servants. Ya Allah, we ask your blessing to make this occasion in success. Allahumma ya Hayyu ya Qayyum, ya Dhal Jalali wal Ikram. You are the mercy of the mercious, and you are the Lord of the universe. Give us mercy from your presence, and shape for us right conduct in our plight. We ask you for knowledge which is beneficial and sustenance, which is good, and deeds which are acceptable. Ya Allah, do accept our ibadah during this month of Ramadan. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Brother Syed. With that dua recitation, may Allah bless our event for today. So, dear brothers and sisters, for your information, this talk is conducted to highlight the importance of flexibility and adaptability skills among students, especially during our internship real soon. For me, I will do my internship real soon, so this will benefit for all of you and also me personally. Hence, make sure to have your notebook and also your pen with you so you are able to jot down all the tips and tricks to tackle this issue once we are in our internship real soon. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our invited speaker, Brother Abdullah Afiq, a special officer to the Chief Minister of Johor. With much honor, please welcome.
Hai, Assalamualaikum.
Hi, Brother Afiq. Waalaikum salam.
How are you?
So, I'm so good, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for your time for being here today as our speaker. We are more and honored to welcome you. You asked me how
Thank
are you,
you.
so how are you back?
I'm fine. It's holiday. It's Friday, so it's a good time to sleep. But we need to be here. We need to listen to whatever we have today.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. So, to everyone that present today, for your information, Brother Afiq is the alumni of Kuliah Languages and Management. He graduated in English for International Communication and Com. Soon I'll be doakan inshallah. So, where Brother Afiq, he is a passionate speech writer in charge of the strategic content of the Chief Minister of Johor, which is his position includes matter pertaining public policy, both economic and social, as well as politics and current affairs. And Brother Abdullah Afiq is also a reader, an avid reader. You can see all the books behind him, which he is definitely a polymath in the making. All right, Brother Afiq, if you're ready,
Okay.
we're about to start our discussion today. So my very first question for you would be, normally, there are a few challenges that we are facing when we starting a new job. For instance, some of us are having difficulty to get along with the new environment. I believe that will be a different age gap between we, the new one, and the older one. So, what are the tips that you can share with us on how to adapt to that new environment?
Okay, thank you. Well, that introduction was quite hefty. It's quite an introduction, but I do just put things into context. I'm just 26 this year, and I am the youngest out of many special officers. There
Oh, wow.
are four of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the youngest. The oldest is 50.
Mm,
So
quite
I
number
am
of age gap.
yeah, so I'm standing amongst former senators, former assemblymen, former, all these special advisors, and I'm the young one. So,
Yeah.
and I am entrusted to handle quite a significant amount of work for who I'm working with. So there is quite a responsibility.
Yeah.
Um, so just put things into context. Well, if you're asking how to adapt, right,
Mm-hmm.
in working environment or even internship, just you need to know that once you started your internship, things wouldn't be as easy as you think,
Yeah.
um, because you are dealing with a lot of people. In
Mm-hmm.
my experience, I am dealing with people who are older than me, hence the
Mm-hmm.
age gap, people who are more experienced, people who are more um, exposed to the world, especially in politics or in policy making. Um, Once you are in that position, what you can do is just to be open to the
Mm-hmm.
possibilities. You need to be very careful what you say and how you react. But doesn't mean that you need to um, be quiet, or doesn't mean that you need to be very submissive to whatever it's happening. You have your own thought. You are independent man or woman with your own opinions. Just made it
Mm-hmm.
known.
Yeah.
As long as you don't lie, or you don't cheat, or you try to sell something that cannot be said. If you want to say that there are five, or if you want to say that the glass is half empty, you have your facts, or the glass is half full, you must present your facts.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially in my line of work, there is no room for you to be uh, apa no room for you to lie, because
Mm-hmm.
everyone in politics is lying. Uh, so there is no room for you to lie. You see as it is. So that's one. Second is a new environment. If you're asking, for me, every day is a new environment. It doesn't mean that you depends on what kind of job you land, or what kind of internship environment you're at. For me, like my friends, some of them are pengurus artist
Mm-hmm.
managers. So
Oh.
she manages Ismail Lizani lah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Singers and actors. So for her, every day is a new environment. Every music award, every shooting, every music video shooting is a new environment. So that
Mm-hmm.
is her line of work. If
Yeah.
you are looking into 9 to 5 work
Mm-hmm.
in an
Normal working
office,
hours. Mm.
uh, then so that is another environment. Whatever environment you have, or you put yourself in, make sure that you always give added value to the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, doesn't mean that you think uh, office environment, for example, right? From 8 to 5, you need to commute. If you are in KL, need to commute through the LRT, and then you come to the office, you sit on a desk. Doesn't mean that you do not have the authority or the ability to add value to your
Mm-hmm.
company or to those around you. Um, yeah, that's all for the first question.
I believe that in order to adapt with the new environment, you suggest all of us, like personally me, to first of all, we need to realize at first it will be quite a challenge. Don't expect a bed of roses
Yes,
as you were dealing with a more experienced people, which means there are higher expectation, and we need to be open to possibilities, be the best version of us, and give benefit and value to people all around us in the working place. So it links us to the second question. So I believe in the workplace that this situation would be different. It's not the same like now I'm university, we're university reading, doing assignments and so on so far. So and we might be given a lot of tasks at the same time. You know, you have to do that and do this as well. So let's say your boss or your manager asks you to prepare a report in a short notice, maybe within an hour, as soon as possible that you can get it done now. So how do you readjust your schedule, and how do you make sure that you do not fall behind with your regular tasks you're doing every day?
okay. I have some. Thank you for the question. Thank you, IU. But I have some hard time to adjust myself to working environment. Two
Mhm.
two different ways you look at it. First is you assume working is um, just half of the day. Some people would like to be that. Some people assume working is the entire day. Even if you came back from office, you are still working. Depends. Teachers are like that. Even though they come home, they still working.
Yeah.
Um, Policemen, right? Even if they come home, they still need to do some work, some paperwork, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Some are lucky enough in a way that they have um, 9 to 5 jobs, whereby once the clock strikes 5, they don't have the obligation to think about work. So they come
Mm-hmm.
home and focus on their family. I'm not going to say that is wrong. That
Yeah.
is their way of doing what life is. And I think everyone has the right to find whichever line they think is appropriate to live with
Mm-hmm.
and whichever environment they want to live with. So working working itself for me in my experience is very much 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it started when I was doing my internship because during that time we need to do a lot of things for not only the government of the day then, but also for politicians personally. So
Mm-hmm.
we are working in a fast-paced environment. Your boss wants you to do something at 5,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 5 petang, 5 in the evening. The moment
It's
when
the
you
end
want
of
to pack
working
your
hours
bag,
already. Yeah.
yes, the moment when you want to pack your bags, then they will give you something because uh, the boss has spent the entire day looking at things, meeting people. Then around 5,
Mm-hmm.
he has the ability to sit down together and to delegate tasks. So
Mm.
we need to be ready with that kind of environment, whereby you need to um, do things last minute. You need to because you are working for them. You can't say
Mm. No.
no. But then how do I say this? Some people don't like what I say because they say, oh, you need to have a work-life balance. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
For me personally, my work is my life. So it depends on what kind of job and what kind of personality you are. So from now on, please decide what kind of person you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna stereotype whereby people say that a woman must choose the work-life balance. I don't think so. I've seen women who treated work as life. So
Mm-hmm.
she works all the time. So there's no stigma on that. So from now on, before your internship, I think everyone is should think what they want to be. How did they view work? Is it 9 to 5 thing, and then you spend your night time with friends or families, or it's a
Mm-hmm.
balance of both, or it's just entire time working.
Mm.
So depends how you see it. And then if you decided, then uh, how and what you're gonna be, then you know how to bring yourself about. Mm. If you are given like that position, like that situation I was in, where you're given tasks at 5 p.m., what are you gonna do? You must do it, lah. There's no other option to it. But then you must understand the company works like that. I put myself in that position to be doing all of that. Because I must
Mm.
understand. Uh, so sometimes I got in other situations. Sometimes I got phone calls at 11 p.m.
Mm.
11 at night. Sometimes I got call at mm, uh, I've stayed up until 5 a.m. from
Mm.
10 p.m. until 5 a.m. just to finish one draft of
Mm.
speech.
Mm.
So there's no way out to it. You cannot say, oh no, I cannot. I have to buy bawang for my mom. She wants to cook.
Yeah.
No, because that's a job. You need
Mm.
to do it. But it's how smart you are. Whenever the time is free, then you need to do it and to use the free time for other people lah. But when the
Mm.
time comes for you to do work, you need to do work. So that is how job market is. That is how working environment is. Perfect example are teachers. Even our lecturers, when they come home, they cook for their families, they spend time with their family, but then they need to attend to us, right? They need to
Yeah.
attend to our problems, our assignments. Same way as in the working life.
Mm.
The upside is that when you dedicate your life to your work, um, you will, the end of the day, get paid more, and also
Mm.
you will have sense of satisfaction in what you do.
Mm.
Because you are doing it full-heartedly, and then you don't think it as a burden because you like it.
Mm.
Mm. So that is important. Do whatever you like, even in internship pun, when you try to look at internship placement, try to look at something that you really, really like to do, whereby you are willing to stay up at night for you to do it. So I've seen people who um, are burdened by
Mm.
doing things that they don't like, and
Yeah.
that's not nice. So find something that you like, and then you are able to do full-heartedly, and then you are able to balance between what is working life and what is family life. Because once you know what you are doing, you know when is the time for you to retreat, when is time for you to do work again, when it's time
Mm.
for you to have a rest, because you know what you are doing and you like it.
Yeah.
Compared to you are forced to do things, then you don't know when to get a rest, you don't know when to retreat, you don't know when to put a stop to your work because someone else is pushing you, and you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
like what you do. So that is
I
the
would
most
like
important thing.
how you reschedule your schedule like between your work and your life is depends on your it depends on your job. I mean, in what field you are in, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes,
You don't
yes.
feel that you need to be like on be ready at 24/7. You have to because it's the place that you choose to be.
Right, yes. That's the word. You choose to be in that way. So don't let anyone, that's a tip for you. If you want, choosing an internship place is not as easy because you
Mm-hmm.
are choosing what kind of life you want to be in the next 10 or 20, 30, 50 years. Actually, it started from the internship.
So it's important
It's
to
that,
like from the internship you choose the right one. Other than we
yeah,
usually think like okay later one when we're done this internship,
yeah,
I'll apply for another job.
yeah, exactly. And most people do it that way, which is for me, it's not suitable. It's not right because you must, like you say, you must start early.
Mm-hmm.
And you must find it there, and then you must decide no later. You know, I
Mm.
want to be what, for example, mm, uh, depends also how what do you want to be in your life. Okay,
Mm.
it all started from the internship phase. That's your start.
Yeah, I have an like out of question, out of the box
It's okay.
inquiries. So um, I have also seniors, even my sisters and brothers are doing internship. So sometimes I hear this in Melayu, people would say, alah, kau jangan tunjuk pandai sangat lah, nanti kena bully. Macam like, we pelekoh them. Pelekoh is utara. Kita
It's
macam,
okay.
yelah, we intern kan, macam tu. So what's your
Mm-mm.
opinion about that? Do we like to, I know we wanted to show the best, but sometimes that might lead us to the unexpected or unnecessarily out of our job scope. What's your opinion about that?
Right. Um, that's true because you need to know you're just an intern,
Mm-hmm.
but you also need to know that an internship is an opportunity for you to land a permanent job, to
Mm.
land, to gain other opportunities.
Yeah.
Because I hate to break it to you, this world is unfair. You, I've seen people who are rich, who have connected parents. They can just send their parents, they can send their kids to the most affluent schools and the most the best schools in
Mm-hmm.
town.
Mm.
And then after they graduate, then their parents will recommend their kids to companies, and companies will accept them. For people like me who don't have affluent parents, uh, I cannot land a job with normal attitude.
Mm.
With attitude like like you say, some Malays would think jangan buat macam ni, jangan buat macam tu, you know. That's how I think of myself. I cannot
Mm.
afford to fail. I cannot
Yeah.
afford to not land a job because my parents are not rich and there are other rich kids out there, even though they're not as smart as us, even though they like us speaking English, right? They speak
Yeah.
broken English. They don't know what they're talking about, but their parents have money. Their
Mm.
parents own the company or their parents' friends own the company. That's why they are
Mm.
there.
Mm.
I've seen that a lot. And it breaks my heart because there are other people who are smarter, other
Yeah.
people who are more apa tu, more knowledgeable, and they can occupy the seat. But why
That they
is
need
other people?
more.
Yes, they need it more. So
Yeah.
once you enter internship, have it place in mind that it's not just another course that you need to attend or
Mm.
another course that you need to complete. You need to set in your mind that you must land a job because the world is unfair. It's just like that. You have
Mm.
rich kids, especially in this current economy. The richer is getting richer.
They
Even
take it for granted.
yes, even banks, right? Even banks are now focusing on um, financial products for rich people. So they
Oh.
don't focus on people like us who don't have money. They say, why should we offer loans to people in the M40s or B40s because they cannot pay us back. So
Mm-mm.
now they are making the richer rich.
Yeah.
That's the business model. Imagine that is in finance. What more in other field? The
Mm.
trend is now everyone is focusing on the rich,
Yeah.
including
So,
employability, including work.
yeah, the richer
So
become richer, the poor become poorer.
yes, so people, for I see normal people like us, like
Mm-hmm.
internship is an opportunity for us to mix with the right person, to for us to mix with the right crowd, and for us to show the best of ourselves. Doesn't mean that, like you see, um, doesn't mean that we need to do things that people who are fully employed do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're still an intern,
Mm-hmm.
but then make sure that you use the, the opportunity to the fullest.
Mm.
Uh, doesn't mean that if you're just intern, please don't wake up at 3 and do work, but make sure that you build relationship with them,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you need a full job.
Yeah, just another to add, like when you say that we need to like do not overdo your work, but do not do less of it, and
Yes,
you said that you need to like mingle around. So what would you say in terms of social relationship or social skills in the workplace? Because from our lecture itself, I used to hear that most of our graduate we are good when it comes to like PC, laptop, all these technologies. But when it comes to social skills, social relationship, you kind of like mind your own business. So how do you do
Right.
it in your work or field?
Um, Please don't mind your own business.
Please don't mind.
Please
Okay.
don't mind your own business. Please talk around to people. Don't be jangan jadi sombong.
Mm-hmm.
In my position, when up until today, when I entered office, I always feel that people are envious of my position,
Oh, okay.
because they think that why you're so young and you are
Yeah,
there.
you're 26. Like young
Yeah,
ones, you could get like 30s, 40s, something in the middle.
yeah. So exactly, but then I need to tell myself, and it's very useful. Just don't be not. I'm not gonna say don't be so confident. You must be confident, but just make sure that you are not over the board. Be
Mm-hmm.
humble, mix with everybody, just talk with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
even though you don't like them. You just need to talk to them. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, you talk to them, and then please make sure that you are there and you are replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality of the world is that you are replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you don't, how to say this, you don't expose yourself to an environment where once people replace you, they can find another person to put in your position.
Mm.
Make sure that when you are there, um, you are needed, and if you are not there, people will find you,
Yeah.
not other people. So coming back to your question, it's always good to be good with others
Mm-hmm.
because so they know that the end of the day they need you. You must make them feel like that. So
Mm-hmm.
how can you do that if you don't talk to people? How can you do that if you don't, try to be good with them? It's only
Yeah.
normal for you to not to like people. We are human.
Yeah.
We have that sense of not liking people. But then mm, try to look at things moderately. Why you don't like the person? And then
Mm.
you realize that they are just humans like any one of us. It's just want to they just want to be significant.
Yeah. So we would like to highlight we have Dr. Matiha. Who is the
Thank
president?
you, me.
President. Go ahead.
Alhamdulillah. I am good, me. How are you?
Hamzah, so for our audience, just for your information, the person Nong Laksana Kama is our deputy dean currently. So Brother Afik is also our
Okay.
alumni. So they have really close connection within them.
So I kind of miss her companionship when we are in UIA Pago.
Mm-mm.
When I was the president, UIA Pago was early, very very early, and Dr. Madiha is always there for us. And you guys are lucky to have her still.
Okay. So back to our question just now. So I
Yeah.
can conclude that um you might be expected to do things that out of your time of your working hours, but looking things back at your job perspective, how you need to attend it, the time range of it, and be don't take things too hard, and like you know what to do, what not to do. Just I think that everyone would be able to do that. Maybe we say that we would not be able, but once we're in that position,
Yeah.
we can. Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
that is. So I'm moving on to, like as you said, the real world is more cruel. And for example, given the situation that you're assigned with the task that you beyond your job scope, you haven't do that before again. So what's your approach and what your first step to handle that situation? What's the first thing to do if you don't know how to do it?
Just That's a great question because I work with someone. He is a seasoned politician. Uh, he was and he is still a certified in senior in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a very analytical mind,
Mm-hmm.
very particular, and he likes to read also. Um, so whenever the first time I work with him, I just act stupid lah, because how can you be smart working with that kind of person? He is
Mm-hmm.
62 years of experience. He has
Mm-hmm.
been in politics for 30 years. He knows more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one step. Just don't act clever until you know who you are working with. So there are certain advantage of acting stupid, because because people will think you don't know.
Yeah.
But uh, we need to find the right time and the right person for us to say whatever we know. You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna tell to everyone, oh, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that. No, find the right person to tell that. You find that
Mm-hmm.
only to your boss.
Mm-hmm.
If your boss is asking you, just tell him or her whatever you know. And then if other person asks you, um, just don't show it to them. For me personally, because um, some people, they don't like when you know more than them.
Like the
So
seniors compared to
yes,
us.
the seniors,
Oh.
even our age group, so just,
Mm-hmm.
and the benefit to it is sometimes they tell things that you don't know because they assume you don't know, okay?
You have no idea about it at all.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
there's one benefit to it. You just know something you don't know. So first is that, do not be confident, because you are working for me, you are working with someone who is more knowledgeable, who is more experienced. But over time, you need to show what you have. Just
Mm-hmm.
when I first met him, I there's this one moment where I did something more than he asked. Then
Mm-hmm.
actually those things he doesn't want it because he already know it.
Mm.
So he put the paper to me and he said, how do you know that you know more than me? I
Oh.
don't think you know more than me.
Oh.
So having put in that situation, what would you do? Some people would cry,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
uh,
It's quite an
but
attack after you're tired.
yeah, after tired day doing it, and then he just told me, I know more than you. What do you know more than me? So I just,
Mm.
okay, I go out of the office and say, oh, that's kind of true. It's very much true. I don't know anything, like how much you know. So
Mm-hmm.
you take it positively. You take it in that way, because as a 26-year-old, you cannot fight a 62-year-old in experience. But
Yeah.
what I can offer is things that I know. Sometimes those things he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
For example, social media, like people in our age.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
example, the economy. For example, things that is happening now. Because he is very much busy doing other things, and there are other factors that he doesn't have time to look at. So that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the tip is just to begin, be humble, and also know your limits as a young person coming into a new environment. But
Mm-hmm.
do not be so little or so not confident until you feel insignificant. No, there will always be time for you to shine
Yeah,
in your internship or in your work.
yeah. Like for example, you have no idea how to do the test. Is it okay like this to ask around?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to ask around. It's okay to even tell you don't know. Don't
Mm-hmm.
don't don't goreng that you think you know. No,
Okay.
just ask around. And there are many instances where I was asked questions which I don't know. I tell I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've also seen the consequences of you telling things, consequences of you when you lie. Meaning
Mm.
that people ask you things you don't know, but then you acah macam you tahu, you cakap lah, it's like this, like this, like that, and then suddenly things got very difficult and very bad because of the advice that you've given. I've seen that.
Mm.
Not
Mm.
me lah, other people doing it. So
Yeah.
don't do that. If they ask you don't know, you say don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So, to conclude that, you need to know, like, until what extent your limit is, but don't
Yeah.
act like you know everything, and don't act
Yes.
like you know nothing, because later
Yes.
they will ask you what you do in the degree time.
Yes.
Everything should pop out.
Talking about degree, right? I mean, NCOM or also NCOM, TPHM, RCOM, and Malcom, all are interesting courses.
Mm,
Um, uh, you are doing communications at the same time, you don't focus at communications. You focus on other things. You don't
mm,
do linguistics, but you focus on other things as well. So a polymath is someone that needs to know everything. So
yeah.
NCOM, Malcolm, RCOM, TPHM is the perfect courses whereby you can have the basis for you to know everything.
Mm,
For example, TPHM, right? Of course, your base is tourism planning. You need to also know urban planning. You
mm,
also need to know the politics of things. If you want to plan something, you need to
yeah.
also know government policies. If you want to do tourism policies.
Mm,
So do not constrict yourself to just one thing.
mm,
So that is my tips. And second is talking about courses. Please take extra courses if you have the
mm.
time.
Extra cost.
Extra courses if you have the time. It's very useful um, in the future. You might not be useful now, but in the future it will. For me,
Yeah, I believe that there's no knowledge that is wasteful. It always
yeah,
time and chance for you to actually benefit from what you have learned before.
yes,
So,
true.
now we have come to our Q&A sessions. So, for the audience, if you have any inquiries to ask, if you want to know things, this is the chance. Grab it now. Simply write it down or leave it in the question. Leave it the question in the comment sections. So I believe that I've solved a few of equations. So perhaps our committee can pin Nurul Iswa. Yeah. So Nurul Iswa asks you.
Right.
She said that good morning, hi too. So I have a question to the speaker. Thus, being an active student in the university would help or ease us to get a job in the future. Will that considered as an advantage to us?
I think if thank you Iswa for the question. I think if Umi Dr. Madiha is still there, she knows how active I was in KLM in KLMSS. Um, it
Yeah, you're
helps
very.
me.
I'm in
It
my
helps.
first semester
Oh,
while you were
oh
the
yeah,
president.
you saw me right. Quite familiar juga your face so. um, it helps me a lot because it gives me the experience of handling people,
Mm-hmm.
of approaching people, how to solve problems, how to mediate. So it helps me in whatever I do now. That's
Mm-hmm.
one. Second is to be an active student is a must nowadays. It is a must. If you have time to go for a debate class, go for a debate class. If you have time to go for um, any other extra activities, go for
Mm-hmm.
it. Because sometimes your degree doesn't matter that much. It's just a piece of paper. But what you learn in UIA, what you learn in kuliah, that matters a lot. Sometimes a piece of paper, they don't look at piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for example, most economic advisors I know are not economists. They don't have a degree in economics, but what they do is they experience economy.
Mm-hmm.
They experience working in an environment that needed good economy.
Mm-hmm.
And these people advises prime ministers, advises ministers. They are not economists. Same goes to
Mm-hmm.
whatever we have now. Doesn't mean that we take a degree in linguistics ke apa ke, we will be a linguist. No, you can
Yeah.
be whoever you want. And
Yeah.
how to guide that is what you do outside of class.
Mm-hmm.
What you do inside of class is it's a probability lah. You have a degree in Malcolm, for example, right? Malay. You might join Dewan Bahasa Pustaka.
Mm-hmm.
You might also be a speechwriter, but be in English and also in Malay, in both.
Yeah.
You know, you might also be a writer If you're not a writer, you might also be a content producer. There's a
Mhm.
lot of things. You might even be an artist producer, a lyricist. So
Mhm.
what defines that is just opportunity.
Mhm.
Therefore, opportunity can be a thing when you are active.
Yeah.
When I was in my third year or my second year, um, I always go back and forth from KL to Pago because opportunities are mostly available in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
So go meet people and go find opportunities there because pre-COVID it's easier because there's a lot of events, right? And when
Mhm.
there's a lot of events, there's a lot of people coming, and then you exchange cards or you just listen to them. Then you know which company is which, what they do, who are working, and it
Mhm.
helps.
Mhm.
Hmm. It helps in
Yeah,
that
so
way.
I believe for in my opinion, perhaps you would agree or disagree. When we're wanted to working, I believe that we have no experience. So by involving being active in co-curriculum outside of the class, it would help us to actually provide what strength that we actually have gained during our study time.
Right. True.
Yeah, so the second question for Nurul Najah Othman, she asked that Assalamualaikum Waalaikumsalam. Is it okay if I ignore my job or task that ordered by my boss because of I already take a leave from that work at the moment? How
What
about
do
it?
you mean by leave? If you are taking leave because you are sick, then you can. It's fine for you to ignore because you are sick.
Mm-hmm.
I was sick for like 1 month. I was hospitalized for 1 month,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to do my job because as long as you have a laptop, you can do your job. But then my boss said, no, you are on sick leave, so don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. If
Mm-hmm.
it's a leave because of weekend leave, for me personally, as long as it's work and as long as it doesn't really bothers you that much,
Mm-hmm.
spend some time to do it because
Mm-hmm.
it is also your responsibility. But don't jeopardize your family time for it lah. Maybe after you eat and everyone is, do it because it's just a weekend leave. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
sick leave or because someone you love passed away. Those kind of leave. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
weekend leave.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a weekend. Next week is not a weekend. And if Islamically speaking, like the world is an avenue for you to work. There's no
Mm-hmm.
rest. There's no rest.
Mm-hmm.
You can only get sleep. A good sleep that would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And then
Okay.
even the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam pun, he get a rest whenever he prays.
Yeah.
So the Prophet doesn't rest, as in put the definition of rest in sleeping or in other activities. Um, as far as I understood, just prayers and yeah, be responsible to whatever you do. So just try to make sure that your job is not a burden. If you
Yeah.
put it that way, then regardless if it's a weekend leave or whatever, you are still able to do it. But if it's too much, don't do it lah. Because you are at home and you don't have maybe infrastructure that you have back at office. So it depends. But for me, most jobs given to me on weekends are just things that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't require me to go to office and do meetings. No. So
Mm-hmm.
why not?
Yeah. So be apa ni? Like choose understand what terms of rest for what terms of rest you are in. If you
Yeah.
assume rest is sleeping, there's no such things as doing work in the weekend. It's
Yeah.
depend on your work, I guess.
Yes.
So the third question, would like to pin Anis Marisa. Okay, before that we have Nurna Jihan Nazri. So Najah Nazri asked that is it okay if I have zero experience about job? I am an introvert person and I talk rarely to people. To meet people is a scary experience to me. Zero experience.
You are an introvert and you rarely
Mm-hmm,
talk to people. Uh,
mm-hmm,
for me personally, I don't like the term introvert extrovert um, because it has been overly used. But what
mm-hmm,
I can do is that I don't like meeting people also.
mm-hmm,
But I must set in my mind sometimes some hour of the day I must be with myself.
mm-hmm,
Uh, Like when you run or when you go to the gym, then you only go for yourself. Like when you pray, you do it for yourself. Certain hours and certain hours lah, you just do it for yourself. Other
Mhm.
hours, you need to go and talk to people.
Mhm.
You know, you can't be in an office sitting like a lemon by the edge of the room alone. No, but there are times when you can do that alone lah at home ke apa ke, and it's fine when on weekends you have free time, just sit alone in your room or not talk to people. It's fine because the rest of the 5 days of the week you are talking to people. You know,
Mhm.
so find the right time for you not to talk to people. But the main point is you must talk to people. You must engage people. Most importantly, engage the right people so that you don't waste your energy, you don't waste your time.
Mhm.
Uh, Politicians, for me, if I work with them, they like to talk to a lot of people.
Mhm.
Uh, Maybe they are a certain group of people, they are certain breed, they are certain creature like them. You know, they
Yeah.
talk to people, they smoke, and then
Yeah.
up to 2, 3 a.m., you know, sometimes 12. Let them be. But for us, I don't want that. So
Mm.
have time for yourself juga.
Yeah. Have time for
Okay.
yourself. So for moving to the next question from Anis Marisa, I would like to ask. Sorry, I lost my screen. Okay, I would like to ask on how do we stay motivated when taking a new project or task. So thank you in advance. So how do we stay motivated?
Okay, before that, I would like to acknowledge Ummi Madiha. She said that most of our alumni were active students and
Mm-hmm.
that made KLM achieve 90% graduate employability. Yes, it's true.
Mm.
Alhamdulillah, Ummi, I've seen my batchmates and also the batchmate before. They
Mm-hmm.
are doing great things. Those in different fields, they are employed and they are happy. And most of them, I believe, because of who they are when they are in campus, they are active. They
Mm-hmm.
don't go back and forth from class to room. You know. So coming back to the question, how to stay motivated when you're taking on a new project or task? Uh, for me, it's simple. I know. Press secretary to the prime minister. Um, Being in where we are, our phones are tapped. The police are listening to our phones. um, we live a very limited life because wherever we go, the police will look at us.
Yeah.
So I asked the press secretary to the prime minister. I think I asked him, how do you live a life like this, so restricted and you can't do anything that you do before. He said,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do it for the country. I do it for the country because I work with the prime minister.
Yeah.
So having said that, why you do the task? Why do you want to do the project in the first place? Who are you doing it for? Then you know why you're doing it, and then you know why you're motivated. For us, I can't go and be in a very shady place, or I must conduct myself honorably because I work with uh, certain people, you know,
Mm-hmm.
those who work with the prime minister, they cannot go around and no, they cannot. What
Mm-hmm.
makes them live that way is because they are doing it while they are serving the country.
Mm.
And I'm also serving the country. So that's one perspective. Why you want to embark on that project or in that
Yeah.
job? Hmm. If you're doing it for your parents, then that's a good reason. So find a reason and stick to that reason. Okay.
Okay. Sister Anis Marisa, find your reason. Okay, so the next question from Dinu Raja Othman again. From her, she asked that I would like to ask how can adapt to the surrounding when our manager is younger than us because I found it quite awkward for me. Oh, she's from UMK. Hi, sister. Thank you very
Hi.
much for joining us. Okay.
How to adapt to surrounding when your manager is younger? Um, I've never been in that situation, but it's actually in reverse. How do people around me, older than me, can adapt to me when I'm
Mm-hmm.
younger and I ask them to do things. For example, Datuk, can you do this? Datuk, can you do that? So for me, it's awkward. For them, it's even awkwarder. you know, how this young guy was more. But um, you must adapt to it because for me, it's responsibility. I need to direct or I need to ask this person to do this and to do that. I need to do that because it's my responsibility, and there's no way for us to escape it, just to adapt to it. How can we adapt? Especially with younger, in your context, younger superior, just to make sure whatever the job given to you is done, regardless of she is younger or he is younger, regardless of the superior is a male or female. Don't look at it that way. Don't look at young, old, male, female, big, small. Don't look at that. Uh, there's in the office. There's no issue of age. There's no issue of gender. Pun KLM once had apa tu a dean from a female dean, and now
No.
still have a lot of deputy deans are females and not males.
Yeah.
Why do we need to question? Do we need to question their gender? No. Same goes
No.
to this. Do we need to question your superior is younger? Um, no. If you say your superior is not experienced, maybe, but give him or her a chance. In my perspective, a lot of people have given me a chance because I am not experienced. But um, that is life. Doesn't mean that you are older, you will be up there. Doesn't mean that you are younger, you'll be down there. No, in this
Yes.
current world, as long as you have the drive, you have the passion, you have the ability, then you will be there. So in your answering your question, just don't look at it that way. If you're younger, for me lah.
Okay, so perhaps we can have another one last question for our session today.
Okay.
We have a
Okay.
question for our brother Amir Nazri. How do you manage your time? Do you like have a planner to help you get through the day? And I find it difficult to even follow my schedule during my studies. So this scares me more while enter the workforce. Do you have schedule?
Okay, I don't have a schedule. The only schedule I have is the schedule of the Menteri Besar. So the Menteri Besar, you work by his schedule. Everyone needs to work by
Other
his
schedule, not
schedule,
your schedule.
not my schedule. So in my line of work, so first for me is I try to do scheduling, but I can't. It's all up here. So once you have time, it works based on when you have time. No, when you have time to eat, when you have time, doesn't mean you must eat lunch at 2. No, when you have time to eat. If you have time to eat at 4, we eat lunch at 4 lah. Same goes to study. Actually, you guys are lucky. I wish I was a student also. Again, because lucky for students is that you have schedule. In working life, for me, I don't have schedule for myself, except for my boss lah, because he has schedule. Um, for us, we don't have. For me personally, we don't have schedule because our time is not ours. It's other people person's life, our boss's time, the other parties punya time, and not our time. So in terms of that, what we can do is to ensure we know what we are doing and we know our priorities. Um, Family might be a priority, then put their schedule first. Work might be a priority, then put your work priority first. Just sometimes we need to conduct our time based on priorities, not based on the schedule. Sometimes schedule can be very constricting.
Yeah,
So
agree.
work based on priority.
Yes, perhaps
Okay.
that would be the last question of today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the wrap for session today. So, on behalf of the Organizing Committee, Public Relations of KLMS, we would like to express our special gratitude to our beloved speaker, Brother Abdullah Afiq. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making time beside your busy schedule. I believe it's your holiday, should be a rest, but you're here with us. Thank you very much.
It's okay. It's my
So,
honor.
maybe,
It's my joy.
yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much. So, maybe you can maintain that beautiful smile on your face for our photography session. So,
Okay.
okay, like, okay, one, two, three. Okay, I
Okay.
believe that the committee have actually screenshot that for the documentation purposes. And to all of
Right.
our audiences, don't forget to join our last session tomorrow, which is a win-win agreement about persuasion and negotiation at the same time and at the same platform by another speaker, Brother Yusran, who is a Malaysian Youth Ambassador for Southeast Asian and Japanese Youth Program. So make sure to the speaker will be able to see yourself again tomorrow. Thank you so much, Brother Afiq. Thank you so much to all the audiences that joined our session
You.
for today. And it has been my pleasure to host this event, and I wish you a pleasant day ahead. Thank you, and see you again in the future. Assalamualaikum. Bye bye.
Wassalam. Thank you.